Jimmy would sit down with an acoustic guitar and we'd work the songs out.
And the more radical and even avant-garde.
I was finding the best bits of black music.
And then we all together suss it all out.
John Bonham's kit was going to be spread right across the stereo picture.
Led Zeppelin was the area in the middle, in between us all.
So everybody could be heard. That was the important thing for me.
When Led Zeppelin unleashed Whole Lotta Love in 1969, it was wild, sensual, primal, and completely unrelenting. As the opening track of Led Zeppelin II, the song marked the moment Zeppelin truly defined their voice. Thunderous riffs, explosive energy, and an unapologetically sexual swagger. But how did this iconic track come to life?
I knew what we had, and I just really wanted to knock everybody dead with it.
It all began with Jimmy Page's guitar, the monstrous, chugging riff that opens the song, perhaps one of the most recognizable in rock history, was born during rehearsals in early 1969.
It was going to be very cinematic in its approach to how the music is done in the first place, let alone what the overdubs and the layers are going to do.
Page had a knack for crafting tight, blues-rooted riffs, and this one was no exception.
So I called for a rehearsal at the house, and we rehearsed 2 new songs, Whole Lotta Love.
My songwriting capacity is starting to kick in because of the color of the playing that surrounded me. So with Whole Lotta Love, Jimmy had done some work on the chorus. He showed me his riff, which was incredible, really.
Jimmy would sit down with an acoustic guitar and we'd work the songs out.
He just comes in and plays what he's written, and then we all together suss it all out.
The riff is repetitive but hypnotic, simple in construction but enormous in sound. Page said it was a product of instinct and feel, not overthinking. That riff just came, it was an attitude, he later reflected. Robert Plant's searing vocals turned the song into a lust-fueled explosion. His lyrics, though loosely inspired by the blues standard, "You Need Love" by Willie Dixon, and later the source of a copyright dispute, were delivered with a raw, almost feral intensity.
Baby, way down inside, woman, you need love.
And for the verse, I just sang a Willie Dixon lyric.
Way down inside, honey, you need it. You need cool air, baby, I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to school.
Plant's performance, "Way Down Inside, Woman, You Need," to his improvisational screams, turned Whole Lotta Love into something more than a blues song. It became a declaration of sexual liberation, filtered through the lens of hard rock bravado.
You know, it was like I was finding the best bits of black music and putting it through the ringer, one way or another.
Way down inside, honey, you need it.
Later, Led Zeppelin would settle out of court with Dixon, and he was given songwriting credit in subsequent releases.
I'm gonna give you my love. Want a whole lot of love.
At the time, the band didn't see the adaptation as theft. They saw it as tradition, the way blues evolved through interpretation.
Oh, that's a good time, baby, baby. I feel the dirt better.
While the spotlight often goes to Page and Plant, John Paul Jones was the unsung hero of the track's atmosphere. A multi-instrumentalist with a deep understanding of arrangement and studio trickery, Jones helped sculpt the eerie, psychedelic midsection that sets Whole Lotta Love apart. In that middle break, the swirling, disorienting sonic storm that made the track feel like it was dissolving into space. He worked side by side with Page during post-production to to layer the track with chaotic textures, strange noises, and sudden bursts of sound that gave it a hallucinatory edge. John Bonham's drumming was, as always, a force of nature. His groove, locked in with Page's riff perfectly, and his fills were executed with power and finesse.
John Bonham's kit was going to be spread right across the stereo picture, so then you could have the placement of the instruments within and the layering within.
But it's the way Bonham comes crashing back in after the psychedelic break, like a sledgehammer through a wall, that provides one of the most thrilling moments in rock history.
He knew how to tune. He had the science of tuning the drum so that when he hit it, it just resonated out the top. It just projected.
Bonham didn't just keep time. He created momentum, drama, and explosive punctuation. Whole Lotta Love wouldn't have its signature punch without him. Much of Led Zeppelin II, including Whole Lotta Love, was recorded in bits and pieces during the band's 1969 tour of America.
This tour coming up, and I think it's going to be really a hoot to be able to record in various locations in America.
They used studios in New York, Los Angeles, and even Vancouver, often recording on the fly in between gigs.
I wanted it to be something that they hadn't heard before. The acoustics and the electrics and the more radical and even avant-garde.
The final track was pieced together and mixed by Jimmy Page and engineer Eddie Kramer at A&R Studios in New York.
So when it came to doing the mix for Led Zeppelin II, I'd mixed it with Eddie Kramer at A&R Studios in New York. I think he did an amazing job. And as was the case with these mixing things, there was often more than two hands on the desk.
Page treated the studio like an instrument, layering effects, manipulating tape, and creating the now famous middle section that gives the track its psychedelic identity.
A radical avant-garde section in the middle that began with the sonic wave. Then when I put the overdubs on it for what was going to go in the middle, I detuned the guitar all the way down, and I was just pulling the strings across and across. And then there was lots of panning. That means moving things from left to right. And so that was it. Led Zeppelin II was completed and ready to be delivered.
We just recorded what we liked. I mean, Zeppelin always had completely different influences. We all listened to different things.
Released as a single in the US in late 1969, Whole Lotta Love rocketed to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming Zeppelin's first big radio hit. In the UK, the band refused to release singles, a decision rooted in their desire to focus on albums, but the song still became a massive hit through word of mouth and album sales. Over time, it became more than a hit. It became a blueprint for hard rock, copied, celebrated, and endlessly referenced.
Shake for me, yeah. I wanna be your backdoor man.
Whole Lotta Love is now etched into the rock canon. It has been covered by countless artists, used in film and TV, and recognized by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. The BBC even used an instrumental version of it as the theme for their long-running Top of the Pops show. The song's creation wasn't polished. It was wild, chaotic, and born out of experimentation. And that's exactly why it works.
And I always said that Led Zeppelin was the area in the middle, in between us all.
So everybody could be heard. That was the important thing for me, that everybody could be heard what they were doing on a Zeppelin record.
It's Led Zeppelin at their purest, brilliant musicians pushing the limits of blues, sound, and sex, and creating a rock and roll revolution.
I keep it cool and